Yes, well, that's what I believe, and that's what I believe we're facing in this country. We're facing in this community with our boys acting out, and
Okay, let's talk about our boys acting out, because specifically in this community, it would be wonderful, and I think I agree with you. You and I have talked about that now is the time, now is the shift. You know, we go back to Egyptian pharaohs that, or divine right of kings. I'm a king and I'm in touch, and you're peons. The Magna Carta came about. We've been, as human beings, taking our personal power, our individual connection with a higher power. So in that transition, I think America leads the way, or should be leading the way, or can lead the way. And it's the challenge that's in front of us to do that. How are we going to make the shift from a hierarchical communication, a hierarchical way of seeing the world, where I'm right and you're wrong, or one up, one down, to a place where we are honoring one another? I think we're making that shift, but specifically what happens today. In this community, we had a number of young men that participated in events that resulted in their incarceration. What would you do about that circumstance? How can this shift take place? How, as a community, in your opinion, can we respond to events not only here but in other communities where young men are called to task and getting pretty severe sentences?
Well, my piece of this puzzle is the honoring of the human heart and human spirit. Going to that child, that person, and saying, what's wrong? You know, why? What has caused you to be angry, defiant? And also, I also feel that, you know, that our laws are so out of sync with human nature. See, this is my piece to bring to the party.
Okay, I'm listening.
Our laws are so out of sync with human nature that they are unjust, that we have unjust laws, and they're actually been created because of our lack of understanding of the nature of the universe. See, I have to just keep getting back to that, because the true nature of the universe is that it is abundant, that everyone has everything they need, want, and desire, and more. Once we understand that that's what the universe wants to give us, there'll be no need to steal. Everyone would have a car that they need. Whatever they needed, they would have. So you wouldn't, these boys stole a car. They stole, you know, whatever. The whole concept of theft would not exist.
So if I hear you correctly, in a nurturing society where people were heard and honored in their individuality, desire to discover as opposed to being told was honored in a way that people grew, that we could engage, I think, as the Founding Fathers wanted us to do, or envision could happen, in a public forum. In other words, in the street or outside our homes. We could engage in human intercourse on a handshake, or from a place of trust. Absolutely. From a place of integrity. So I could make a deal with you, we could agree to do something, I would be knowing my sense of personal abundance, knowing that I was part of the universe, they could be manifested. I think that's
absolutely. And the Constitution, I see the Constitution as a divinely inspired document. And when we cleanse ourselves of our fear-based thinking, that Constitution will flower into the vehicle it was meant to be, and that is a vehicle of profound freedom. And the whole concept of the Bill of Rights, we wouldn't need a Bill of Rights. See, the world I'm talking about is a world where the word rights isn't even a word in the vocabulary, because it's a given. Because we're in balance, we're in our hearts, we're in our understanding of being cared for, being loved, and that we have everything we need, want, and desire, and more than we can ever even fathom.
I agree. And practically speaking, in this event that's taken place in our community, it's my belief that the prosecuting attorney, that the judge, that all the kids, that all the victims, that everybody whose life was impacted by this event, which is a symptom of something else, you know, and we want to talk about that's the big piece. That each one of the individuals that participated in the justice system or the trial all have a positive intention.
Absolutely.
And every one of those people is, to the best of their ability, wanting to speak to this same place.
Absolutely.
What's good for the person, what's good for the community, and how to do that.
Right. Everyone wants to get it. We as Americans, we are, you know, it's in the fiber of our being to serve the public good and to bring this beauty and abundance and this all-American dream that we have. But in my opinion, we can't get there from here. I'm from Maine.
Okay, we'll
Bert
talk
and I
about that.
say, you can't get there from here. Right. And that's a profound statement, because given our basic assumptions about the nature of the universe, which are in fact erroneous in my opinion, we cannot get to this unreachable star. And that's what's in the essence of that song, to reach the unreachable star, because we can reach it, but we have to shift. We are actually coming to understand that the true nature of the universe is actually manifesting itself to us as we walk out the door and run into that person that we needed to talk to, or all these things that we call coincidences in our old belief system. We call it luck, we call it coincidences. We're coming to understand that there's something much bigger.
That everybody has these moments where it clicks, you're in the zone.
Absolutely, it's becoming more and more
divine, for want of a better term, manifestation, and it's just a good day.
Yeah.
And we all, you know, we hit those strides, we get a little off balance, we readjust, we get back into them. That part I agree about. And then practically, I know that there are some young men that are in the Department of Corrections right now. And their reality...
They're there to show us.
Okay.
Okay.
So how is that?
They're there to show us that something's wrong. And I believe that they had to do extreme measures so that they would get our attention. And I think that's, frankly, I think that's what Columbine was about. I think that that's what, that this is about, to get our attention, that there's something desperately wrong. And it's the fallout between your Donna Reed Leave It to Beaver model and the freedom piece, the Wild West, the America. I mean, the Pilgrims came here because they wanted to be free. I mean, they were rebels in England. And they said, okay, you know, we're going to walk away from that, and we're going to come.
They would have been criminals in England.
Yeah.
They would have been incarcerated. They would have been challenged by their
the
very
Robin
behavior.
Hood Prince of Thieves concept, that it's actually a system that's out of balance that causes the true heart to walk out of that and break the law, man-made law.
So you see these events and these individuals who people are going to say, look, they need to take responsibility. There was a problem here. These are the identified patients. It's not us. And what we're going to do to fix this problem is we're going to put the brakes on and bring out a codification and put these people away or meter out punishment.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing throughout this country. It's an epidemic in this country.
And what I think I hear you saying is those events took place, but let's look at that there's a message.
Yeah, absolutely.
And let's hear the message as opposed to respond to the mask of what should be good. This is bad. This should be good. And but never really saying, oh, gee, I have you know, in medicine, if something happens, you'd go and say, the person's not bad. Right. This little blotch or eruption is a manifestation of a deeper imbalance in the system.
Absolutely.
So let's address that. I think, is that...
Absolutely.